Hello, I am your teacher, Mr. Pacitti, and this is my classroom here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So put away your mobile phones, put away your chin Pokemon. It's time to concentrate, it's time to study. This is SmackDown Live, and this is Graded. We kick things off with SmackDown Live General Manager Paige, who introduces to the ring the SmackDown Women's Champion Becky Lynch, and she's got new Titantron graphics, and her face isn't all cocked up anymore, and what a wonderful way to start the show. Becky says that when you're the hottest thing in the industry, any time away is too much time away, and she had to watch her spot be taken at Survivor Series, and Charlotte Flair, get out here right now. So Charlotte comes to the ring, and Becky says that Charlotte doesn't truly know who Charlotte is. In fact, it took Charlotte Flair channeling her inner Becky Lynch to really take it to Ronda Rousey at Survivor Series. And Charlotte says, no, I wasn't being Becky Lynch, I was being Charlotte Flair. There's a bit of back and forth arguing between the pair, and then Charlotte says that she wasn't fighting for Becky Lynch at Survivor Series, she was fighting for Charlotte Flair, despite the fact that she said that she was fighting for Becky again and again on numerous episodes of SmackDown and before the paper. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Charlotte says that she's ready to fight right now, shouting. So Paige interrupts and says to both women they better shut their mouths right now, because she's going to make a match for TLC, and that is Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's title in a TLC match for the first time ever. The first ever Women's TLC match. Tables and ladders and chairs. Oh my. They are then interrupted by Mandy Rose's music, and Mandy comes out accompanied by Sonya Deville, the Iconics, and Zelina Vega. And Mandy says that, hey, Paige, you don't care about the rest of the SmackDown Women's roster. All you care about is Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. She's got a point. And then they're interrupted by the SmackDown Women's baby faces, so out come Naomi, Lana, Carmella, Asuka, and a huge chant for Asuka breaks out, and it was even better because Naomi had absolutely no idea how to reply to it. She just went, yep. That's right! Okay, good. So Naomi basically agrees with those nasty, nasty heels and says that, Paige, yeah, you do only care about the two women in the ring. You don't care about the rest of the SmackDown Women's division. And Paige goes, no, 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 because tonight the main event will be a battle royal involving all of the women currently on the ramp, and the winner will join Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair at TLC, making that TLC match for the women's title a triple threat. I'm going to give this opening promo an A, and there are a few reasons for that. First of all, Becky Lynch is back. She's super, super pissed off after not being able to wrestle at Survivor Series in arguably the biggest match of her career, and she wants to do what she does best, and that is fight. And she wanted to do it immediately. She didn't want to wait until TLC. Then you've got Charlotte, who she wasn't overshadowed by Becky Lynch as she has been in previous weeks. She really did hold her own. And then you've got the rest of the entire SmackDown Women's division, and their gripes felt super genuine. It made sense. Why wouldn't they be pissed off that Becky and Charlotte have been getting all this attention for so long? All of the title shots have been between those two. I thought this was brilliant. Secondly, we saw the first ever women's TLC match be set up, and everything about the setup worked for me. There was real character development on lots of different fronts in that promo, but even before it was made into a triple threat match, I was actually excited about seeing Becky versus Charlotte for the billionth time for the title, and I think that's pretty impressive just because of how big this match felt. And finally, thirdly, it's just nice to see Becky Lynch back looking in tremendous physical shape. It looks like she's fully recovered, and I guess the fact that she's been booked in this very, very physical match at TLC is a testament to that. I love the new Titantron. She feels like an even bigger star now, so yes, welcome back, the man. Next up, it is time for the winners of the Survivor Series pre-show match that definitely didn't happen. The Usos taking on the tag champs, The Bar. Also, The Bar are now without the Big Show. We saw this in a pre-recorded video package. Cesaro and Big Show were arguing, and then Cesaro pulled his singlet strap, Big Show's singlet strap, and it pinged, and then Cesaro gets hit with the knockout punch. And now I think that's another turn. I think that's a Big Show face turn. I'm not sure. I don't know. I guess that Big Paul White was only available for a few weeks, so they thought, hey, What can we do with him? Stick him with the bar. Sticking with the bar. So a decent opening match here, two teams with a heap of experience, as well as really great chemistry together. There was a great spot towards the end of the match where the Usos went for the double splash, and then Jey Uso, I think it was, got taken out mid-air by Cesaro with the uppercut. Sheamus gets the knees up for a near fall, all good stuff. There's not too much else to say about this one. It was just a good match. I'm giving it a B. Jimmy picks up the win for the Usos with a splash, and all of this makes sense. The Usos were the sole survivors on the SmackDown Tag Team Survivor Series Elimination Tag Team, you know what I mean. And now they own a pinfall victory, a clean pinfall victory over the tag champs. And maybe the Bar did need the Big Show all along. He's the reason that they won the tag titles, so maybe that cast doubt in their mind. I guess we're going to see the Bar versus the Usos for the tag titles at TLC. I'm all for it. It was a good match. Backstage now for a quick Miz New Day promo, and the New Day are making fun of the Miz for getting pinned by some jobber on last week's SmackDown, and big fan of Big E pulling out an 8x10 of Kairi Sane from his big singlet. That counts as a debut, by the way. Down your drinks. The Miz walks off saying he's going to get a match set up for later in the night, but who could it be? Who, etc. It's Miz versus Kofi. Spoilers. Back to the ring, and out comes former WWE champion AJ Styles. He grabs a mic and he says he's now been without the title for 14 days, and those 14 days feel longer than all the time that he did have the title. AJ says that he had to watch Survivor Series and last week's SmackDown from home, and Daniel Bryan's justification for his actions, it's BS. It's BS, and he wants Daniel Bryan right now. He doesn't want to wait until TLC, but Daniel Bryan's not here tonight. He's pulling a Lesnar. He hasn't turned up. AJ says that at TLC, Daniel Bryan can bring his dreams, his excuses, his WWE Championship, because that title belongs to just one man, and that man is the phenomenal AJ Styles. You know the drill. And from my rundown here, it sounds like this was a pretty uninspired promo, perhaps, but actually, AJ was really on form last night. AJ's promos, specifically his delivery, I think can be pretty hit and miss, I think it's fair to say, but last night's promo, AJ was brilliant. I'm giving this one a B+. The promo was short, sweet, it served its purpose, and that purpose is getting us, the audience, hyped for TLC, and it did that. Next up, it's time for Shinsuke Nakamura versus Rusev, except the match doesn't happen because that bastard, Shinsuke Nakamura, before the bell, before the match even starts, hits Rusev with the double Kinshasa. I made that sound cooler than it was. He hit him with two Kinshasas, one after the other. It's not a new move, sorry. Can't really grade this one because it wasn't a match, but if this leads to an actual US title feud with a storyline, then I'm all for it. Time will tell. Next up, it's time to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Jeff Hardy in the WWE. The whole SmackDown and the Cruiserweights, they're all on the entranceway. And Michael Cole is in the ring to introduce Jeff Hardy because apparently none of the SmackDown announce team are good enough. We get a really nice video package highlighting some of Jeff's biggest moments in the WWE. And then Jeff thanks his wife, his kids, the WWE Universe, and I'm tearing up here. So the fans are all chanting, "Thank you, Hardy," and Jeff says this isn't a retirement speech, but we don't know what the future holds. And then he is interrupted. Honk! That's not what it sounds like. That was meant to be the Samoa Joe, you know, the sexy elephant at Samoa Joe comes out. So here's Joe, who apologizes for his tardiness, but he was in the back getting ready to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Jeff Hardy. He was popping some bottles, but maybe it's not too sensible to have those bottles around you, Jeff. Whew. And then Joe says thank you to the WWE for producing that lovely little video highlight package for Jeff Hardy, celebrating all of Jeff's best moments, because Jeff probably doesn't remember any of them. Whew. Joe says that next time Jeff needs him, he will be there for him. Joe is offering his hand to Jeff Hardy, but this one-step program, this won't be painless. And then Jeff is like, come on then, let's fight right now. There's a lot of right now on tonight's show, but no, Samoa Joe just walks back up the ramp to the back, the little cock tease, the big cock tease. Right, so once again, I love this, and it's another A from me. I love the idea of the 20th anniversary celebration of Jeff Hardy. I thought that was great. I loved the SmackDown roster and the Cruiserweights all being at the top of the ramp, clapping away. That was great. And I even loved Michael Cole being a part of this because it actually all made it feel bigger than it perhaps would have done. And Michael Cole, whether or not he should have been on SmackDown because he's a Raw guy, he is, I guess, the voice of the WWE, and it did make it feel important. But I think most of all, I loved it because Samoa Joe was lit. He was really good, basically, and we've now got a feud that Samoa Joe may actually win. Like, he might finally come out on top, because these losses have been hurting Joe for a long time. He always seems to fail when it means the most, and I actually think he's probably going to beat Jeff Hardy. Hopefully. Kudos to Joe. Great on the mic as always. Kudos to Hardy as well. Kudos to all involved. Hey! Next up, it's The Miz versus Kofi Kingston, two guys who we've seen wrestle countless times in the past. At one point, The Miz exposed the turnbuckle, and then Big E covered the exposed turnbuckle with the pancakes. So Miz couldn't use the exposed turnbuckle. It was a good match. Miz eats a Trouble in Paradise after trying to use a steel chair, and Kofi gets the win, and I'm going to give this match a B-. It was just a match. I think we're going to get The Miz and Shane McMahon versus The New Day at some point pretty soon. So that's a thing. Next up, we hear from Randy Orton, who has been a complete and utter cock to Rey Mysterio in recent weeks. Last week, even unmasking him, an act that he describes here as euphoric. Orton says that his actions last week were meant to embarrass Rey Mysterio, to humiliate Rey Mysterio, and that Rey is going to be just another victim of the three most destructive letters in all of sports entertainment. Ah! And then booyaka, booyaka! And then Rey comes out, interrupts him on R. Should have waited for K. Minor quibble. No talking from Rey. The two immediately scrap it out. Rey has a neck brace on. Orton immediately targets the neck of Rey, but Rey gets the upper hand, hits the 619 on Randy Orton, and then, after he's hit his finisher, goes and gets a steel chair. He's about to pulverize him. I know it's personal and everything, and the mask and all that, but you're the good guy, Rey. Come on, leave it, Rey. Orton ends up countering Rey and hitting the vintage Orton DDT through the ropes, and then goes for the throat of Rey Mysterio, tries to unmask him again, and then all the refs run down, and Jamie Noble and co, and that's your lot. This gets a B-. Orton's promo was an Orton promo. It was slow and methodical, like his wrestling, I guess. And this is one of the feuds that I guess I'm less excited about on SmackDown, but to me that's more a testament to the overall quality of SmackDown as a show than the work of Randy and Rey here. I'm still into it and everything. It just doesn't feel as big as some of the other stuff on the show, and that's fine. But maybe you wouldn't expect that from Randy and Rey. Main event time, and it is the Women's Battle Royal. The winner, of course, joins Becky and Charlotte at TLC in the women's title match, and it's a women's battle royal that actually makes sense. Not just a women's battle royal where the women are thrown together because they don't have any idea how to book women's wrestling. This is the first time that a women's battle royal has been good in a long while, and it was bloody good. So there's quite a lot to get through here, so I'm going to summarize it as best I can. Zelina Vega is the first woman eliminated by Lana, and then Zelina Vega attacks Lana, so I guess we'll see a little mini feud there, and then the Iconics eliminate Lana. Asuka then eliminates both the Iconics and then Carmella. Naomi then eliminates Mandy Rose after quite a fun exchange, but then Naomi is eliminated herself by Sonya Deville, and it's down to two women, Asuka and Sonya Deville, and the closing 5 minutes of this match were really fantastic. So before I get to the actual finish of the match, I will say that Sonya Deville, during the last 5 minutes of this match, felt like an absolute star. She was really, really terrific. At one point, Mandy Rose tries to interfere to help Sonya pick up the win. That backfires, and then Asuka and Sonya are battling on the ring apron. Some really hard-hitting stuff, and then Asuka eventually hits Sonya with the knee, picking up the win. And now at TLC, we've got Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair versus Asuka for the SmackDown Women's title in a TLC match. And I knew they hadn't forgotten about Asuka. Let's forget the last 7 months of awful Asuka booking, because last night, it didn't make up for it. I'm not going to pretend it did. But maybe we're back on the right track with Asuka. I'm really, really excited about that match. I love this. As far as Battle Royals go, this is about as good as it can get. This one gets an A from me. Maybe I'm still just excited about Asuka, but I honestly think that last night's SmackDown was the best SmackDown of 2019. It was really terrific. I'm giving it an A, and the only thing stopping this episode of SmackDown getting an A+ is the lack of a real standout match. But everything on the show, they managed to squeeze so much in, so much. Everything made sense. It was really brilliantly written TV, compelling from start to finish. There was nothing bad on last night's show. Normally there's one thing that stands out and you can go, okay, it was good, and then that, but not last night. It was great. So I would normally list the highlights here, but yeah, there are just too many highlights to get through. The whole show was a highlight. So if you haven't watched last night's SmackDown, go and watch last night's SmackDown, even if you do know all of the results because you've just watched Graded. Just realised I haven't written a joke. A dyslexic man walks into a bra. Piss off. So that's all from me. Thanks for watching, and you can follow me on Twitter here. If you enjoy what we do here at Cultaholic, you can pledge to our Patreon. That's patreon.com/Cultaholic. And most importantly, don't forget to hit subscribe and join us.